Welcome back, 5th grade. In order to be as successful as possible for this class today, please go and grab your rhythm tree from last music class. You'll have 60 seconds to go grab that now. All right, now that we're back together, our objective for the day is to read and perform rhythms using standard notation. All right, now that we are all back together, I have a 2-measure rhythm for us that we are going to decode together. At the very beginning of my rhythm, I have a 4-4. I want you to think back to last year. We briefly talked about it. What do you think 4-4 means? Right now, take 10 seconds to think about it. If your guess was that 4-4 tells us that there are 4 beats per measure, you are correct. 4-4 tells us that there's 4 beats per measure and each beat is a quarter note. That's where the bottom 4 comes from. The bottom 4 tells us that 1/4, a quarter note, is 1 beat. The top 4 tells us that there's 4 of those beats per measure. And that bar line right there, that shows us that that measure is over. At the end here, you see 2 of those lines. One's a little thicker than the other. This tells us that it's the end of a song. So this is a normal bar line saying that it's the end of a measure. The double one tells us that it's the end of a song. All right, so we have 2 measures here. Right now, you should have your rhythm tree in front of you. We're going to take it one rhythm at a time. So we're starting with our first rhythm. I see 4 closed circles, and I see 2 lines up top. Right now, check your rhythm tree. See if you can figure out what rhythm that is. These are 16th notes. These are 4 16th notes. Say it. These are 4 16th notes. When we have 16th notes, we say do, ta, de, ta. Do, ta, de, ta. Say it, go. Do, ta, de, ta. 4 16th notes fit into 1 beat. 4 16th notes fit into 1 beat. So they have to go pretty fast usually. All right, so we have our 4 16th notes, our do, ta, de, ta. What is next? This next rhythm here, it has a closed circle, it has a stem, and that's all there is to it. What note is that? Take 5 seconds to check your rhythm tree. This is a quarter note. This is a quarter note. Say quarter note, quarter note. Quarter notes, we say do. So far we have do, ta, de, ta, do. Do, ta, de, ta, do. That quarter note takes up 1 beat because remember, we know we're in 4/4, and this tells us that each quarter note takes up 1 beat. So the whole beat is just do. Do ta dee ta do. Very nice. All right, this next rhythm we have right here is not a note. If it's not a note, it has to be a rest. If it's not a note, it's a rest. And with rests, we don't say anything because we're resting, we're taking a break. But how long are we resting for with this rest right here? I see a line and I see a box on top, and I see that it almost looks like a hat. It almost looks like a hat. Check your rhythm tree. What kind of rest is that? The hat is a half rest. So it lasts for 2 beats. A half rest lasts for 2 beats. So we have do ta dee ta do here in parentheses because we're not supposed to say anything during rest. I'm going to put sh, sh, because that lasts for 2 beats. So I put 2 sh. So far, for our first measure that's now complete, we have do ta dee ta do, sh, sh. I'm going to tap the beat this time so you can see it. And I'm going to snap the rhythm. Do ta dee ta do. So that is measure number 1. We got 1 measure to go here, so keep that rhythm tree handy. This one looks a little funky. It's not something that we're super used to. I see a closed circle, I see a stem, and then I see what we call a flag at the end of that. There's only one. I see 1 flag at the top of that stem there. It kind of looks like a quarter note, but because that flag is added, I want you to think about what kind of notes have something up top. I just drew up here 2 eighth notes. If you take away one of those eighth notes, you have a quarter note with a flag on it, which makes it a eighth note. It makes it 1/8 note. So for our 1/8 note, we're going to say do because it starts on the beat. It starts right on the beat. We have do ta dee ta do, sh, sh, do. Because we're starting on the beat, we say do, but the do is going to be shorter than it is for just the quarter note. Because an eighth note only takes up half a beat. An eighth note only takes up half a beat. So check out the note that's next to our eighth note here. This one looks the same as this one, so we know that it is a quarter note. Now for our last quarter note, we said do, but here's where it gets tricky. This quarter note starts on the half of the first beat. So if I were to write out the beats, you can see we have the first beat, we have the second beat right here, in between those 2 notes. So we have the first beat, 1 and 2 and 3. So our third beat does line up with this note, but our second beat is just kind of stuck in between 2 notes there. So what we do for that is we think about our eighth notes, and our eighth notes we know we say do day for 2 eighth notes. We say do day for 2 eighth notes. So our quarter note here, because it comes on the half of the beat, we are going to say day. I know I just spelled dude, it's fine. So we have do day, but because it's a quarter note, our day is going to be longer than we're used to. So we have do, day. We already said that the second beat comes in between these two notes. So this eighth note comes on the half of the beat. We now know that when we have a note come in on the half of the beat, we say day. So we have another day right here. We talked about how this quarter note comes in on the third beat. When it's on a beat, we say do. So let me go through that one more time because that's brand new and a little tricky. This second measure here, we have on the beat, so we say do. We have off the beat, so we say day. We have off the beat, so we say day. Then we have on the beat, so we say do. Do is always going to be on the beat. It's always going to be on the beat. Day is always going to be half the beat. It's always going to be on the half of the beat. So this measure here would sound like this. If this is my beat, it would sound like this. Do, day, day. At this last beat here, it's just a quarter rest, so we have a sh that I put in parentheses. So I'm going to do that second measure starting here one more time. Again, it's do, day, day, do. It's do, day, day, do. Say it, ready, go. Do, day, day, do. Sh. 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 All right, so both measures together. It's going to be my turn, then your turn. We'll do this a few times so we get nice and comfy with it. Both measures together goes do to day to do. Sh. Sh. Do, day, day, do. Sh. Your turn. Say it with me. Do to day to do. Sh. Sh. Do, day, day, do. Sh. One more time. Say it with me. Do to day to do. Sh. Sh. Do, day, day, do. Sh. Your turn only. Ready, go. All right, nice job learning that new rhythm with me. Way to go. We have a song to learn next that has body percussion with it. This song is actually just going to be us performing on body percussion along with a recording. But we have lots and lots of rhythms to read for it, so I hope that you have your music caps on. Get ready. All right, here is our body percussion piece. So this is going to be the first time that we are reading and performing our own music together. So this song is The Pink Panther by Henry Mancini. So it might sound familiar. If you don't think that it might, once we play the recording, it's probably going to sound at least a little familiar to you. All right, this piece is broken up into 3 sections, A, B, and C. Our form eventually will be A, B, C, A. So don't get tricked on that. A, B, C, A will be our form, but there's only 3 sections to it, the A, B, and C sections. On our piece, you can see the different body percussion that we're doing with each section. The A section only has padding, but the B and C section have it split up into 2 different body percussions. Whatever line it is, either the snapping or the padding line, that is the body percussion you are doing for those rhythms. So you see these notes up here on the snap line, and then these notes down here on the pat line. So you're snapping for these, padding for these. Same thing down here for the C section. We have snap and clap. For the bottom notes, you're clapping. For the top notes, you're snapping. Bottom, clapping, top, snapping. All right, let's start it with the A section. I hope you still have your rhythm tree ready because it's super helpful. All right, for the A section, the first note that I notice, it has an open circle. So we have two notes on our rhythm tree that can have an open circle. I want you to look at your rhythm tree right now and figure out which one of those two it is. Is it the whole note or is it the half note? And why? How do you know? Take 5 seconds to think about that. If you came to the conclusion that this is a half note, you are correct. It's a half note because it has the open circle and the stem going up. So right now, let's label all the half notes we see in A, B, and C. All the half notes. So I'm going to write do, ooh. I put do, a dash, and then another ooh, because a half note gets 2 beats. So it's not just going to be do and done, it's do because it takes up 2 beats. So I see a half note here. My next note also has that open circle, and that stem is also a half note. I'm labeling it do. I see one more half note on this page. It's at the very end here. So I'm also going to label that one do. We only have 2 notes left in the A section now. So this A section is going to be pretty simple for us. This looks just like my half note, except the circle is closed. It's colored in. So check your rhythm tree. We added one thing to the half note, which means it's just the next note down, which we know is the quarter note. Quarter note gets 1 beat, so we're going to label both these as do. Do, do. All right. We have 2 half notes, 2 quarter notes, a half note, and then this symbol at the end here. Remember how we talked about when it's 2 lines at the end of a measure, that means it's the end of a song. That's still correct, except you see these 2 dots here. If it's 2 lines with 2 dots right there, that's a repeat sign. That's a repeat sign, which means you do the whole thing again. All right, so we have repeat signs at the end of all these, which means we're going to do the A section multiple times. So we're going to do both measures, repeat, do them again, repeat, do them again. And I'll tell you how many times we're going to repeat when we get into that. So to perform the A section, we pat. And right now, I want you to try to do it by yourself. I want you to try to perform the A section by yourself. I'll help you keep the beat, but I want you to try to pat the correct rhythms. Okay. Ready, go. All right, I'm going to pat it for you now. I want you to try to do it with me, see if you got it correct or not. So you're doing it with me now. Ready, go. Do, 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 do. When I'm patting on do, my pats look like this. Do. I'm not going do, because those are 2 separate sounds, and half notes only make 1 sound. So it's do. All right, try that with me patting, go. Do, 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 do. Just your turn, ready, go. All right, that is our A section. Hopefully you were able to get that pretty easily because it's going to get trickier from here. All right, for our B section, we are snapping and patting. These top notes should look familiar. We have closed circles with a stem coming up. It looks like either a half note or a quarter note. Which one is it? Which one is it? It is a quarter note. So I'm going to label all 4 of these with my do's. Do, 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 do. Those are all on the snapping line. The next rhythms go down to the padding line. I do see some quarter notes on the padding line though. I want you to think about which of these rhythms look just like the quarter notes with the closed circle and a stem coming up. And that's it. Closed circle, stem coming up. I see 2 of them. I'm going to label those right now as do, do. Hopefully you found the same quarter notes that I did. So we have 2 rhythms right now that we're missing labels for. They looked just like the rhythms that we labeled on our practice rhythm this morning. And these are 16th notes. We know that because they have closed circles. There's 4 of them connected up at the top 2 times together. There's 2 bars at the top here. If there was only 1 bar at the top, it would be 4 8th notes. But there's 2 bars at the top, which means it's 4 16th notes. And if you remember for 16th notes, these are Miss Ziegler's favorite. We say do, ta, de, ta. I know that's hard to read. Do, ta, de, ta. Hopefully you can remember that because that one's my favorite. So here we have do, 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 do to de to do, do to de to do. Say it only, ready, go. Do, 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 do to de to do, do to de to do. One more time, saying only. Do, 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 do to de to do, do to de to do. All right, the first measure is snapping. The second measure is padding. If you cannot snap, 5th graders, just use lobster claws. It's the same thing, it doesn't matter. So snapping for the first measure, padding for the second measure. Just my turn, just watch. Do, 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 do to de to do, do to de to do. Notice how I'm using both my hands for padding on that, just to make it easier, because when we put the recording in, it's going to get a little bit faster. So again, my turn. Do, 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 do to de to do, do to de to do. Your turn. Do, 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 do to de to do, do to de to do. All right, so that is our B section. Right now I'm going to do A, then B, just my turn. Then we're going to do it together. Then I want you to try it by yourself. A, then B. My turn first. And we're not going to repeat for practice. We're just going to do it straight through. Okay, A section goes do, 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 do to de to do to de to do. Do it with me, start at A. Do, 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 do. B, do, 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 do to de to do to de to do. Nice job. Your turn all by yourself. I'm going to point and keep the beat for you. Here's your beat. Your turn, ready, go. Were you able to do it by yourself? I hope so. All right, scholars, we have one section left to learn, and then we get to start practicing with the recording. All right, this is our C section. We have snapping and clapping. We actually have a new rhythm in the C section here. They should look the same, so you might be a little confused when I say a new rhythm. Now, Ziegler, this has a closed circle. It has a stem coming up. It's a quarter note. We just say do. Not quite. So this quarter note has a dot next to it. When you have a dot next to a note, it adds half the beat value to the note. So we know that a quarter note has 1 beat. Half of 1 is half. So to figure out how many beats a dotted quarter note gets, we add half the beat value. So we have 1 plus 1/2 equals 1.5. So a dotted quarter note doesn't take up 1 beat, it takes up 1.5 beats. All right, so that's a little tricky there. What if we had a dotted half note? So right now, think about how many beats a half note gets. A half note gets 2 beats. So we have that dot there, we need to add half of the half note beat value to it. So half of 2 beats is 1 beat. So we add 1 beat. So a dotted half note gets 2 plus 1, 3 beats. All right, if you're a little confused right now, that's okay. We'll continue to talk more about this later. But for this piece, all you need to remember is that a dotted quarter note gets 1.5 beats. And the dot adds half the beat value of the note. Okay, so for this section, we have a dotted half note to start. So for this, we're going to say do, ooh, just as if it was a half note. We say do for half notes. This one, the second ooh, is just going to be a little bit shorter, just kind of like we did what we did up here. But because it starts on the beat, we start with do anyway. Next, we have 1/8 note. We have 1/8 note, and because this takes up 1.5 beats, this eighth note starts on the half of the second beat. So we have beat 1, beat 2, here where we say that second ooh. Because this one starts on the half of the beat, we say day. So we have do, day. This note then starts on the beat, but it is another dotted quarter note there. So we know that a dotted quarter note gets 1.5 beats. Because it's on the beat, we say do. Because that one's on the beat, we know that this eighth note is going to be off the beat. If you're lost with me right now, that's okay. Like I said, we're going to continue practicing this. So all you need to know is for this rhythm right here, it's do, day, do, day. Do, day, do, day. Say that with me, ready, go. Do, day, do, day. One more time, ready, go. Do, day, do, day. Notice how it's not do, do, it's do, day, do, day. So when my hand goes up, that's when we say the days that are on the half of the beat. All right, so one more time, I'm going to do the correct body percussion too. For these, you are clapping. One more time, my turn first. Do, day, do, day. Your turn, clap it with me. Do, day, do, day. All right, lucky for us, it gets easier in the second measure here. So the second measure here, we just have straight quarter notes. Do, 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 do. Easy enough. If you look at the body percussion lines though, you see that it's clap, snap, clap, snap. So that second measure is going to be clap, snap, clap, snap. Do, 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 do. Both measures together is going to sound like this. Do, day, do, day, do, 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 do. Do it with me. Ready, go. Do, day, do, day, do, do. One more time. Do, day, do, day, do, 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 do. All right. If we do A, B, and C all together, I'm going to do it first. You're going to do it after me. Get ready. Ready, go. Do, 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 do today to do today to do. Do, day, do, do, do. All right. Do your best, 5th grade. You got this. Perform it with me. Ready, go. Do, 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 do today to do today to do. Do, day, do, do. All right, I'm going to get sick of saying the word do by the end of this, but we have a recording to put this to, so get ready. All right, scholars, we're about to play it with the recording. Each section is repeated 8 times. Remember, we're going A, B, C, A. Do not forget that form. It's very important. We're going A, B, C, A. Each section is repeated 8 times. If you don't get it with me the first time, go ahead and rewind the recording and just keep trying until you get it, because once you do have it, it's pretty fun. All right, get ready. Here we go with Pink Panther. Here's an intro. I'll help you once we get started. A section, ready, go. Do, 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 do. B section. A section, ready, go. Nice work with that one. If you were getting lost at any point, please feel free to rewind the video, try it again. You do have an exit ticket on Google Classroom. It's 2 questions. Remember this form. Remember that the dot adds half the note's value to the note. All right, cannot wait to see you guys next week. Hope you have a good one.